Hi everybody, it's Trisha the Knitting Lady coming at you from another angle. That is my front door to my apartment. And the other closed door is my bathroom. And do you see the sun and the moon up there? I made that in ceramics. Oh dear, it must be, how many years ago? It's a good 10 years, yeah. And the print below that is of a quail. And I had bought that in Goodwill, which was near my house in Tucson. And I found out later, it's a print, but the print is, would you say rare? I don't know. I looked it up and it's a unique print, and it's amazing what you can find at Goodwill and Salvation Army. I love quails. I used to see a lot of them in Tucson. I think they are the cutest things. I used to like when the mommy was had all her little babies around her and they just go scooting all over the place. So I hung that. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get cozy here. So that's near my front door, and I'm trying not to show too much of the refrigerator there. I only have a one-bedroom apartment. It's not very big. I try to keep it as uncluttered as possible. That's not always possible, but... So, what can we talk about? I am making this video very quickly because I'm going to watch a live stream at 5 p.m. And what time is it now? It's 4:12. So I have to talk quick. It's a performance at the local theater. I used to volunteer there at Thalian Hall. It's all about the Beatles, young children and kids in high school. I think the range is from first grade to high school singing Beatles songs. So it looks interesting. Like I said, it's a live stream. So I didn't make a video yesterday, Thursday the 18th. And it was the birthday of Matt Dillon. He was born 1964, and John Travolta. And I think it was Yoko Ono as well, 1933. Yes. So, no, she was born today. I'm sorry, but that will come. So did you know the longest time between two twins being born is 87 days apart? Can you imagine? It's crazy. So the theme yesterday was about Mark Twain and the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. On February 18th, 1885 was when The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain was published. And they were talking about Mark Twain and the book. And the book is one of the most banned books in the United States. Depends on what area you're at. A lot of controversy to that book. Yes, it was one of the most loved and most banned books. It's a sequel to Tom Sawyer. I know I read Tom Sawyer and I read Huckleberry Finn years ago. I don't remember much about it. I think all I remember is the raft going down the Mississippi River. And I've never taken a boat down the Mississippi River. Always wanted to. So Tom Sawyer was more about Mark Twain's childhood in Hannibal, Missouri. And they say Huck is based on Tom Blankenship, who was a friend of Mark Twain. And his father, Woodson Blankenship, was a poor drunkard and likely model for Pa Finn. I remember that. And Ernest Hemingway wrote in his Green Hills of Africa, I believe that was a book. I didn't read that. I've read a lot of Hemingway books, but I didn't read that. That all American literature comes from this book. Well, it's true in a way because the book was written in American vernacular. Leave it to me. I can't pronounce anything. Anyway, dialect. It was written in local dialect, which was unusual at the time. It was first banned in Concord, Massachusetts in 1885 when it first came out. And it has been banned for stereotyping of blacks. Took Mark Twain 7 years to write the book. He started it in 1876. He wrote 400 pages, then stopped to write The Prince and the Pauper. I enjoyed that book. And Life on the Mississippi. I don't think I read that one. He returned in 1882 to finish the book after he took a steamboat ride on the Mississippi from New Orleans to Minnesota. And I always wanted to do that. But unfortunately now, there's not much traveling going on. And there's a saying I saw. I always look at quotes and sayings. And it says, I am not lazy, unmotivated, or stuck. After years of living a life in survival mode, I am exhausted. There is a difference, which is true. Don't you ever feel like you're living life in survivor mode? I know when I worked for my job I retired from, it was like that every day. I tell people I had to mentally put up a shield around me because the people, as soon as you walked in, it was like the attack was on. It was awful. Why did I stay there? I tried to get out of there. In a way, it was meant to be because I did wind up with a decent pension. But it was survivor mode all the time. I had to watch everything I said, everything I did. I kept a journal, which annoyed my boss to no end. She'd say, why are you writing things down? I said, for my own protection, which was true. I don't want to go on about the different things that went on there. Certain people tried to get me fired for crazy reasons. I won out in the end, but believe me, like I said, it was survivor mode. 25 years I spent there. Not all of the 25 years was spent in survivor mode, but mostly the last, I would say, 18 of it was not good. So that quotation really struck home with me. I don't know. I always think their motto, that the motto of that company was divide and conquer. They were always setting people up against each other. And I remember one day I was talking to an employee from another department. My boss passed by, and she called me in her office when I came back, and she says, I have to talk to you. And I said, okay. I went off. She goes, you shouldn't talk to that man. Well, why not? Well, you shouldn't. It made no sense. You have to laugh about it now, but I thought to myself, I don't understand where certain people come from. So enough about that. So any of you going through craziness at work, if you ever want to talk about it, we can compare crazy. And today's February 19th, 2021, of course. Which candy was invented by a former Hershey's employee? And that was Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So H.P. Reese's was a dairy farmer who worked for Hershey. And he quit his job and wanted to make candy. So he asked Hershey for permission, and Hershey said, fine, as long as you buy your chocolate from me. So he developed the peanut butter cups. He named the candy penny cups to begin with, because at the time, that's what they cost. So he later changed to Reese's peanut butter cups. After his death in 1956, his 6 sons took over. In 1963, they sold it to Hershey's for $23.5 million. By the beginning of 1969, Reese's was Hershey's best-selling product, which is true. It's a lot of people buy Reese's peanut butter cups. I can't eat them because they're chocolate, but before they found out I was allergic to chocolate, I used to love them because I like peanut butter. And today's the birthday of Yoko Ono. Seal, the singer Seal, 1963 was born. Smokey Robinson was born 1940. And Nicholas, and I mentioned him the other day, Copernicus. See, and that's the one I couldn't pronounce. He's the one who came up with the theory about the planets circling the sun. So he was born in 1473 and 1543. And what else can I tell you about? Oh, now this I found interesting. On this day, 1945, U.S. Marines invaded Iwo Jima. Iwo Jima. Is that how you say it? See? I could do a whole comedy show. How not to pronounce a word. Anyway, they engaged in one of the most important battles of World War II. Operation Detachment, which was its former name, was a success, which brought American forces within 660 miles of Japan. The Medal of Honor was awarded to 27 men for valor at Iwo Jima, counted for 1/3 of all Medal of Honor awards for U.S. Marines in World War II. It resulted in more than 26,000 Americans' casualties, including, I guess, 6,800 dead. The island was returned to Japan after 24 years in 1968, when President Johnson gave the Japanese premier some small islands captured during the war, including that island. So 2 Japanese soldiers did not surrender for 5 years. I've read books on World War II battles. I don't know why I'm fascinated with it. I'm fascinated with different things like that because it's the maneuvers and different strategy they have to go through. But the Japanese had done an extensive caves and tunnels on the island, so they would hide in these caves and tunnels. And 2 soldiers stayed hidden in those tunnels for 5 years, and they finally surrendered 5 years later in 1949. The Navajo Code Talkers were credited with winning the battle. Now, they used their native language to relay coded messages during the battle. And the Japanese chief of intelligence admitted while they were able to break the Air Force code, they were not able to break the Navajo code. It's one of the few codes in history not to be broken. So I know they made a book about the Navajo Code Talkers. I've never seen that movie. I have to go look for that. I read a book about Iwo Jima by Flags of Our Fathers by James D. Bradley. He was the son of one of the flag raisers. There were 6 men that raised the flag. They had a statue on it about it in the famous photo. And it was a really good book. It told what happened to the men after they came home. Some of them who raised the flag, they had to go on a bond tour, and it affected them. One of the men was from Arizona. He was a Native American. But James D. Bradley's father survived, and he lived a pretty good life. Unfortunately, he's gone now, but he seemed to be the less affected by it because he didn't talk about it. My father always said now that the people who really were in war really didn't talk about it. He would go to the VFW, and some guys would be sitting there bragging about what they did during the war. And my father thought to himself, you didn't do anything during the war because you wouldn't be bragging about it. Like I explained in an earlier video, we didn't know what my father did during the war till years later. Like he said, people who really fought in the war didn't talk about it. Or very few do, I should say nobody did. Now, when I lived in Jersey, on the New Jersey Turnpike, there is a bridge going over the Raritan River, and it was named for John Basilone. He was from Raritan, New Jersey. He was a Medal of Honor winner. He's buried in Arlington Cemetery. He won the Medal of Honor, the Purple Heart, and the Navy Cross. He was born in 1916 and died the first day of the battle. He was a U.S. Marine. He single-handedly destroyed an enemy blockhouse and led a tank under the fire safety through a minefield. And when I went to look up information about him, a lot of buildings and other places have been named after him. I always wondered about him because, when you see the years, born, died, and when I used to see that riding across the bridge, I just think to myself, so sad to die so young. I think he was 28, but now I know what he did. I knew he won the Medal of Honor. He was a very good-looking man, too. I look at his photo, I said, oh, nice. So, okay, I know I forgot my other book I use. Hold on a second. I'm back. It's my daily book of positive quotations. So for today, it was kind words. It's a Japanese proverb, and we were just talking about Japan. One kind word can warm 3 winter months. Well, the way people are suffering this winter, I think we need more than kind words. My son was all due to go to Austin, Texas, and for both work and pleasure, and his co-worker, because now they work all over the place, he called him up and says, don't come here. It's not funny, I shouldn't laugh. He said, we're boiling water. He went into the whole thing, what they have to do in Austin. It's really, like they say, you can't fool Mother Nature. Okay, it's easy to say something nice and even easier to neglect to do so. We glow when someone tells us how much they appreciate something we've done, even if what we've done is inconsequential, as holding open a door or picking up litter. But in our busy daily rush, we don't always think to pass such kindness on to others. I will offer kind words to others as often as I can. See, I'm basically, not to pat myself on the back, I am not a mean person. If I don't like something or someone, I will just stay away from them. I try to be positive, point out something nice. Some people, it's a waste of time to do that. But I'm not mean. You know, even if you walked in, I didn't like what you were wearing, I wouldn't say that to you. Some people are so quick to criticize. I'm sorry, I can't do that. It's just not me. You know, I'm not a critical person. I can't see the point. And like I said, if I don't like you, or whatever reason, or you rub me the wrong way, I will just stay away. Easy to do, right? Sometimes you can't help it. There are people that do rub you the wrong way, and you have to work with them, or you have to be with them. But I can't be mean to them. I just can't. So enough about that. Well, kind words, I suppose. And tomorrow, it's about absurdity. Humor is our way of defending ourselves from life's absurdities by thinking absurdly about them, and that's by Lewis Mumford. I think he's a comedian, I'm not sure. It's true, life is absurd. There's almost nothing that can't be helped with a healthy dose of humor. We could rail in anger and frustration about our relationships, work, politics, and the world in general, but it's a lot more fun and more useful to laugh instead. It's kind of hard to laugh sometimes when what's going on recently, but taking life with a dose of humor can relieve stress, improve mood, help us cope with change, and put things into clearer perspective. Instead of being annoyed today, I will look for the humor in whatever it is that's threatening to irritate me. It's true. I live in an apartment complex, and we're changing internet providers. I don't pay for internet, which is one good thing. It's included in my rent. But you're kind of at their mercy. Well, you're always at their mercy anymore anyway. So they're changing internet providers. At first it was supposed to be March 1st, then it got moved to Monday. Well, I went downstairs to get a cup of coffee because we have a 24-hour, well, it's not 24-hour anymore, but we have a cafe that's open. It's a machine. It's not like fresh brewed coffee, to be honest with you. So I went to get coffee, and I stopped in the office, and I said, okay, what's the date for the change now? Is this still Monday? Because I was going to take time off work. You know, I only work part-time. They said, no, it's not. It's Tuesday. We're making up letters now. So I have off Tuesday, so I don't have to take a sick day on Monday. I'm going to play it by ear. They said it might be spotty, but I'm going to take my chances, you know, and Tuesday I'll have off. So, but you have to laugh about it, because when I came in and the manager said to me, and I asked him, he goes, you have ESP or something. I said, well, I just thought they changed it the date twice already. There might be a chance they change it again. He goes, yeah, they did. So hopefully they don't change it again, because so many people depend on the internet now. You know, the kids are home from school, you're working from home. I do pay for another connection, a more solid connection, but sometimes that's iffy. That's through the one company, and that might change now too, come to think of it. We'll see what happens. You have to laugh about it. I'm just thankful, and I'm always thankful for something, that I have a steady pension coming in. That, you know, if I lose any other forms of income, I still have that. So, like I said, you gotta be thankful for the little things. So as far as knitting, crocheting, I'm still working on that cow. I'm almost done. I'm making my I-cord. It's a crochet cow, but I didn't like the way they were doing the cord because it gathers. So I make my little I-cord, and I'm still knitting my sweater. And that's about it. I'm behind on watching my videos. I'm sorry, people. I'll catch up. So take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.